Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gary gzduel here today to play some Fabled, and I had the most amazing duel with this deck because I basically got out all the pieces as fast as possible in 3 turns, and everything just went perfectly for me. So I'll show you guys how that happened. Of course, I got my tour guide first. That's like the most strongest opening move. You get out Kushano. You can XYZ for, Microbe Engineer so that you have protection, and then you can set up your graveyard next turn. I also use Grimrow to search for Luri, so next turn I can go for Unicore. And so my opponent, he's playing some sort of Beast Warrior stun deck, and he starts off pretty strong too. He has Fire Formation. He uses the Fire Formation to get Bear. Using Bear as effect, he tries to get rid of my Engineer. But my Engineer is indestructible if I detach my Kushano, and by protecting himself, he also sets up my graveyard so that next turn I can use Kushano's effect, discard Luri, and go for Unicore. So my opponent, he for some reason used Power Duality to get a second Veiler and not a Mirror Force. It's kind of questionable for me. I don't think that was like the best move, but whatever. Everyone has their own preferences. I draw into another Grimrow, so that's really perfect. And then I'm gonna, of course, say what I said last turn. I'm going to get out of my Luri, and I'm going to use Grimrow to search for Cruise, so I can have a move for next turn as well. And I'm going to use Unicore, and then using Unicore, I'm going to attack over his Bear, and then I'm going to do some more damage with my Microbe Engineer. I feel very, very safe with this setup, even though we don't have the same amount of cards. I know he has a Veiler, so when he uses the effect of his Veiler, he's going to have to discard it, so I have to keep our hands relatively the same. And plus, if anything happens, I can use Jar of Greed to just balance out the number of cards in both our hands. So not to worry right there, I should be okay. So my opponent summons out Wind Up Rabbit, and Wind Up Rabbit, since he has higher attack, he's going to try to attack my Microbe Engineer, but my Engineer is pretty strong too. He has an effect to save himself. So I just detach my tour guide, no problems right there. I draw into Missile Space Typhoon, which is perfect, and then I get to destroy his face down card. If I didn't draw into this, I probably might have played a little bit safer, but it's okay since I draw into it. I'm going to discard the Cruise to get Kushano to my hand. Using Cruise's effect, I can summon out Grimrow, and then I can normal summon out Kushano, and then using Kushano and Grimrow, I synchro for Ancient Sacred Wyvern. So that forces my opponent to use his first Veiler on my Ancient Sacred Wyvern, or else it would be OTK. He knows it would be OTK. But by discarding his first Veiler, he has 2 cards in his hand, while I have 2 cards in my hand. If the effect of his first Veiler must be negated by my Unicore. So what he has to do, he has to discard a second effect Veiler to try to negate the effect of my Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Now he only has 1 card in his hand, and so his effect will go off. So that's unfortunate for me, but he wasted 2 cards. I'm fine with that. And seeing that he has only 1 card in his hand, what I simply do is I simply set my Dark Hole, so I have 1 card in my hand. And so when I attack his rabbit, and when his Wind Up Rabbit activates the effect to try to dodge the attack, I can actually just negate the effect of that and destroy his rabbit and go for direct attacks. My opponent has to quit because he really can't do much, except maybe, if he was like resilient, he might be able to do something next turn with his Gorilla. He could summon it, attack over the Microbe Engineer, and maybe get out some searches, but I don't think that that's possible given that I have Unicorn probably just negate that effect anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this duel. This was a really cool duel for me. I hope you guys learned something. This is Gary gzduel signing out.